Hey, so today we're diving into news about Arrowhead CCO revealing a secret about the helmets. He also addressed not retiring. The community manager discussed Game Master Joel videos and that the team's been working on other videos. Plus, there's so much more I'll be covering. With that said, hit the like button below to show some love, and let's jump right into it. Alrighty, Helldivers, Arrowhead Game Studios Chief Creative Officer Mr. Pilestedt revealed his secret about the helmets we didn't know about. You may have noticed a strange circle on the back of the helmets, like the one shown here. All in-game helmets have this detail, but no one knew its purpose until just recently. Mr. Pilestedt responded to a Reddit post where a player asked about the circles on the back of the helmets. He saw this post, and in his reply, he wrote, "Yep, this is what we originally intended it for, oxygen supply during planetfall. When the Helldiver emerges from the Hellpod, a connecting hose was supposed to disconnect to explain it, but we didn't have time to make the anim for it." Now that's amazing, isn't it? We sort of had an idea, but we didn't really know the reason behind that detail until he explained what it was meant to do in game. Apparently, as you can tell from his response, when we dive onto a planet and rise from the Hellpod, a hose is supposed to disconnect from us, but unfortunately that didn't make it into the game. Now I wonder if they'll reconsider including the animation and detail at some point, since they didn't have the time during development. I believe it would be an awesome thing to see in game, and I'd love to see those small details. I will say it makes sense now, right? You're diving from a spaceship, the Super Destroyer basically, onto a planet, so you'd likely need oxygen to survive the landing. Anyway, can they add this detail to the game? Sure, it's possible. Mr. Pilestedt replied to a comment on that post where Helldivers suggested they have time now to add it. In response, the CCO explained that the team is quite busy lately and has less time now than before. Here's his full response. "Actually, there is so much the team is working on. I think we have less time than before release, since we now want to release great updates ever so often to keep the game fresh." Well, it looks like we won't see that added anytime soon. If I had to guess, they're too busy working on performance fixes, bug fixes, and new content they have planned, so adding the hose disconnection animation right after diving onto a planet might take up too much time when they could be focusing purely on content and improvements, which I don't mind at all. To me, it actually makes sense, though I hope one day they'll consider adding that animation. I can't imagine it would take up a lot of their time, but then again, it's probably not worth the time and effort when you could be working on other cool stuff. Lastly, we have one more response from the CCO on this. Another diver chimed in to ask about the details on certain armors that also have circles on them. Mr. Pilestedt, the CCO, replied, "Yes, there was some idea of pressurization for some suits and connectability between helmet/suit. Well, it looks like it's the same situation here. The armors would also have hose connections, explaining in game what's happening when you dive from the Super Destroyer through space onto a planet. If you didn't know about this, do me a favor and hit the like button below. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about it? And would you like to see this animation in game at some point? Moving along, we have a response from him about retirement. A Helldiver wrote to Mr. Pilestedt on the Helldivers 2 Reddit page saying, "I thought you retired." In his response, he replied, "Hey, nah, just on a break. I will never retire from making games." I've seen several posts and comments just about everywhere about this, so I want to clear up the confusion surrounding his break. It's interesting that many assumed his break was a retirement post, which isn't the case at all. We know from past posts that he clarified this earlier in the year, but I guess some confusion lingered about it. Before his break, he also mentioned they're working on a new game. We still have no clue about what it is, but I'm certainly excited for all the kind folks at Arrowhead and whatever they have planned for the next few months. With that said, hopefully this gives you more insight into what's happening with this break and that I was able to clarify that he's not retiring anytime soon. Continuing onward, we have news from the community manager Baskinator about how the video team is focused on other projects, but soon we'll be getting more Game Master Joel episodes like before. There's a diver that asked, "When are we getting more Joel episodes?" And here's the reply she gave to a member on the official Helldivers 2 Discord. "I hope soon. The video team has a lot of other things in the works, and so they got pushed down the list a bit, but we still have the footage." There are two key takeaways here. First, a new episode will drop eventually, and second, the video team is working on something special, perhaps the next Illuminate story trailer, or the Warbond trailer coming May 8th. There's a lot to speculate about, and I'm curious what else they could be planning. So far, we know something is happening on May 13th, as a recent post I covered in a previous video showed a Singularity Party banner, but what exactly will it be? We'll find out soon, and I'm ecstatic about everything. If you have any ideas about what this could be sure to post a comment below and let's chat about it. The next question she replied to has a partial answer. A player asked whether the developers are planning to rework the Orbital Smoke, Eagle Smoke Strike, and EMS Strike to make them more competitive with other stratagems. As I mentioned, we have a partial answer to this. The community manager responded by stating, "I don't know which stratagem the mod team are specifically examining at any given time, but they do have a lot of conversations about our existing content." If you're wondering why she said mod team, she means the Ministry of Defense team. The developers are reviewing nearly all stratagems, and I certainly hope they focus on the smoke stratagems. I don't know about you divers, but I rarely use smoke stratagems. I tried them once at launch, but haven't touched them since then. It feels like they don't have a purpose, at least in my opinion. It felt like enemies seem to know where to shoot me, even when I'm in the smoke. I think a rework could make them more useful for hiding from any faction and Helldivers too. But hey, what do you think the developers should do to the smoke stratagems to make them more effective? Share your ideas below. Next, I'm sharing some sort of useful information, and I will explain why it matters. We have another question, this time for the support team member B Vitamin, asking if she knows anything about in-game content in development, like ways to level up armor and weapons. She responded that she can't share details about the future. The same player then asked her thoughts on the armor idea. She clarified that she doesn't know, doesn't decide such things, and can't say if it's possible, realistic, or a good idea, as she's not part of the game design or direction team. Another person noted that she's a bridge between the community and developers, to which she replied, "My role is player support. When you submit support tickets to our help desk, they go to me and my team. I also liaise with devs about current bugs and issues, but I have nothing to do with what goes into the game. The bridge between community and devs is the community team, like Basque and Mitchimus." I'm bringing this up because while the support team doesn't have a say in development, they certainly have communication with the devs in terms of like what's going on bug-wise and issues, because they send it to them, right? They talk to them about it. But anyways, with that said, the community manager also kind of gave some feedback on this. This is what Basconeer wrote by detailing this and said, "The community team is the bridge," but she's correct. We don't decide stuff like that. We just communicate back and forth as best we can. Yep, if you ask them a question on the Helldivers 2 Discord, they can't confirm whether anything will happen, mainly due to, well, NDAs, and because they don't decide what will or won't be added to the game. They simply communicate what they're allowed to discuss. Anyway, another player asked if anyone at Arrowhead are fans of Halo and what they think of the franchise. In response, she said she doesn't know exactly what the team thinks, but there are plenty of Halo fans, or in her words, at least Halo appreciators. She also mentioned enjoying the first few games, but not keeping up much since. This might not grab everyone's interest, but I think a Halo and Helldivers crossover would be awesome to see. It's probably never going to happen, though there were past rumors that Halo might come to PlayStation, but there's no official confirmation. And I only brought this piece up, this conversation right here, because I think it's cool that there's so many fans over there at Arrowhead, and I don't know, I think a crossover would be awesome if it were ever to happen. It's May 13th is right around the corner. You guys can let me know what you think about everything we've talked about in today's video and all that good stuff. Lastly, we have the top 3 comments. If you Helldivers would like to be featured, all you have to do is post a comment below, and that's it. The first top comment comes from Vengeance48. "I wish the Illuminants gathered the remnants of the destroyed planets and used them to make a new home world. Wouldn't that be interesting and a very cool idea to see. If it were to happen, I think that would be an awesome thing to see." The second top comment comes from SEGT Minguez, and I remember you, dude. You actually commented a few videos back, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, you wrote, "As seen on Reddit, there are 2 types of bugs, Helldiver, the kind we fight and the kind Arrowhead fights, and they're both infinitely reproducing. Yes, indeed, my friend. They're absolutely just coming in numbers, apparently, on both sides, whether it's in-game or in-game, I guess, too, right? It's crazy. The third and final comment right here is from Lucy. You basically said we need more pings. For example, backup reinforcements, take cover, etc., and some things about stratagems as well. And I absolutely agree. We need one for bunkers. You know, to ping a bunker is probably the most important one, I feel, because it just sucks because you have to type everything down. Especially if you're on console, it takes a bit of time, especially if you're not used to typing on there. So those are the top 3 comments. If you guys can, I'd appreciate the support if you tap the like button. Consider subscribing, turning on notifications below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and thank you to everyone that's currently a member.